This is the first of a series of videos that will sketch out the graph and kind of underlying financial theory that goes with tariffs and quotas. This video is going to set the stage where a country opens itself up to trade. The second video will look at the effect of tariffs. The third video will look at the effect of quotas. So our starting point here is this country or situation that is, let's say it's Hawaii, a small island. They're not trading, so they're in autarky. And you've got your upward sloping supply curve, you've got your downward sloping demand curve, you've got your consumer surplus, you've got your producer surplus. This is the equilibrium price. So this is the price of tofu, $2 a tub. This is the quantity that it's made, 700 tubs every day, something like that. And so this market is in balance. All right. So now we're going to change this this world around, because what is going to happen is there is going to be a boat that comes in and is willing to trade, and the boat is willing to sell tofu at and as much as the people on this island care to buy at the prevailing world price, and that world price is going to be lower than the equilibrium price here on Oahu, let's say. So what then will happen is, let's say that this is the equilibrium price, or the world price. That price now, and they're willing to sell as much as they can, becomes the new price in the Hawaiian Islands. And so at that price, let's say that's $1.50 a tub, the demand will be satisfied, and so the quantity demanded at that price will be this amount. So that will be the quantity with trade, and the price will be will be over here. So let's fill those in. So we're going to get our, we'll call this P sub W for the world price. And down here, we've got the Q sub W is the world quantity. So that's what is going to happen when the country opens up to international trade. So the price is going to drop, the quantity demanded is going to go up substantially. Now, what happens in this world? Well, what happens is, and who is going to be producing? So what happens is the producers on the island are only going to be willing to supply this much. So when we were at the old equilibrium, the Q sub E here, this was all produced by the domestic producers, but now they're only going to produce this much. So we'll call it QD for domestic, QT. The domestic producers are going to have gone from producing this much to this much. And the price that they're going to be able to charge will drop from here down to here. So what happens is their producer's surplus starts going away, because they're not making that much anymore. Instead, they're going to be making and enjoying only this area as their producer's surplus. So the producer surplus shrinks substantially when the country opens up to international trade. On the other hand, for the consumers in the country, this is great because now their consumer surplus extends all the way down to there and all the way out to there. So all of this becomes new consumer surplus with trade. And this is the kind of heart of the argument for opening up to trade, is that it greatly expands the consumer's surplus and makes the people who are buying stuff substantially better off. So that's the fundamental argument for trade. And let's just sketch out what's going on down here so that it's really, really clear. Down here, now from here to here, let's make that black. This is domestic production. With trade. With trade. And then from here to here, this is imports. Imports with trade. Okay, so again, the importers, they're going to supply from here out to here. Domestic producers are only going to be left with this much. And what basically happens here is that the if you look at it, this area of expansion and this area of expansion are new consumer surplus. This area here is consumer surplus that used to be producer surplus. So economists don't really care if the producers get it or the consumers get it, but this is all new consumer surplus and is the argument that economists make for why you should expand and open yourself up to trade, because consumers here are getting a great deal and the consumer surplus expands tremendously. Now, if you are one of the producers, you used to get all of this and it's been taken away from you. In other words, when you open up to trade, boom, your prices drop and the amount that you produce drops. So you get upset and you go to the government and you demand protection. And that protection can come in the form of either tariffs or quotas. So in the next video, we'll go over tariffs, and then we'll follow that with one on quotas.